So I want you to pretend for a moment that you're going through your kid's phone or their internet history and you find something that is not what you were expecting to find, whether it's pornography or sexting, or maybe they're talking about drugs, or maybe they're just swearing and using a video game that you didn't know they did, or downloading a virus. Whatever it is, we're going to pretend that your kid downloads something bad. How are you supposed to respond and react without ruining your relationship with your child and causing them to hide future bad behaviors and mistakes from you? Hi, I'm Chelsea. Welcome to Family Friday, where I teach you practical tips about how you and your family can stay safe on today's virtual playground with using technology in today's digital world. So the first thing that every parent needs to do is we need to investigate how the bad stuff got there, because there's 3 ways the bad stuff gets in that we forget. First, somebody shows it to you. Kids today have stuff airdropped to their phones or sent in a text message, or even adults will get messages for things where it's like, ooh, check out this meme, and you open it and you're like, that was not what I was expecting. So investigate that. Somebody can send it to them something bad. They can find it by accident, by accidentally trying to click out of a pop-up that comes out on their phone, or maybe a quiz opens up a second page that they're not aware of and they weren't there. That is something that happens all the time with viruses and pornography and sexting and things like that. People don't realize that that kind of stuff can pop up. The third way is we seek it out, where we go looking for stuff like swimsuits can pull up inappropriate things. You can go search for party ideas. You can search for baby chicks on YouTube and have bad things come up. So bad things come in sometimes without our knowledge, and that can lead our kids down a dangerous rabbit hole if they're not prepared to handle that. So as parents, the first thing we need to do is investigate how the bad thing happened, and then we need to come up with a game plan of how to approach our child, because the next step, the way you approach them, is going to determine whether or not they show you the bad stuff again. And I can tell you right now, if you react and you tell them that they are horrible, that they've done a bad thing, that they're awful, things like that, when it was an accident, they will never talk to you again about anything bad. Do you want to know how I know? Because that's what happened in my family with multiple kids when my parents responded out of that reaction of fear. Not because they were like wanting to be mean to my siblings and I, but it was because they were afraid of what could happen. So when we respond that way, it's never going to be good. So how do we respond in a better way? We highlight the good for our kid, we highlight the bad thing that we found, and then we make sure to reinforce it with the good that they are still doing. When you sandwich it that way, it makes it so much easier. So you can look at them and you can say, I've been noticing that you've been doing really good managing your social media time, or maybe they're talking really good with their phone and good at turning it in at night. And then you can say, I was looking through your phone the other day though, and I found something that I'm kind of curious about. Do you want to talk to me about it? Do you know what I found? You can have those kinds of questions, or you can ask them, when was the last time you saw pornography? When was the last time somebody reached out to you and talked to you without you knowing? When was the last time you had a pop-up that you couldn't get rid of, or your phone was acting up? When you ask these open-ended questions, it opens up a dialogue for your kids where they're not in trouble, but they're understanding that you're having a conversation with them. The third thing that we need to do as parents is realize that the tech screws up. There are times when, like, for example, the pop-up's not working, or internet filters not blocking out certain swimsuit ads and things like that. That's when the tech needs to be disciplined and your filters need to be fixed. So make sure that you're not punishing your child for a tech mistake. Now, bypassing the tech is a totally different story. Hacking parental controls, totally different story. We're talking about accidental stuff here. We're talking about maybe a friend airdropping a nude to them, or maybe sending a hateful text message or things like that. Those are things our kids can't necessarily control. But as adults, we can teach them, well, you turn off the airdrop when you're at school or you're around your friends, and you don't turn it on. That stops all those things. Those are the kinds of things that our kids need, which is number 4, is to guide them back. Guide them into doing correct behaviors, correcting the technology together, learning how to protect themselves. When we approach our kids this way, it allows us to have a much better conversation with our kids so that they aren't just exposed to the bad things. They're really understanding that mom and dad are here for them. This allows you to form a dialogue and things, especially if there's a problem like maybe there's a pornography addiction, maybe they're dealing with cyberbullying, maybe they're dealing with a screen time addiction, or they're developing just bad habits with technology, like having 500 tabs open and never finishing a task. Whatever it is, When they have those kinds of problems, we need to be there for their fail-safe, and that's where we need to have a plan of action. Or if we have a kid who's maybe struggling with pornography, they can come to us and say, you know what, Mom, today I messed up. Or, you know what, Mom, I need a parachute. I'm ready to go. That can be your secret word to go and rescue them and maybe do a different activity or change the channel or do things like that. My own husband has talked to me about stuff like that, where he's like, you know what, we got to turn off that commercial, or you know what, we need to turn off that movie. I did not know that scene was in it, and it's not a good scene that I need to be seeing, or things like that. I tell my husband all the time, sometimes he needs to turn off his video games so he can't talk to people because I don't want to hear the language. Whatever it is, we need to have a fail-safe where our kids can know that when they are struggling, we have a plan to help them, even in the busy chaos of life. We don't have to necessarily be right there, but we can say, okay, I've got you. We can do this. That's the kind of help that our kids need. So whenever you find something bad, whether it's on a device or a tablet or at a friend's house, or a parent confronts you and says, did you know what your child did? This is how you should approach your kids. And if you have questions about it or other ideas, I really encourage you to drop them in the comments, because there are a lot of parents out there. I've been in almost 100 homes, and I've seen the good, the bad, the really ugly, where the kids just have issues. And I've also seen the good that can come from it. And honestly, in every situation I've been, these are the ways that have worked with strengthening the kids' relationship, bringing the family together, and uplifting the kids. And so I hope you guys enjoy this. Please share this with your friends and family, and have a wonderful Friday.